Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
We see people debating probably one of the greatest debates of our time.
Yeah, philosophers of our time.
Good 100 men take on one gorilla.
Oh, okay. I don't think so, honestly. I think the big. I think in that debate, the thing that people are missing the most is that our advantage as a species is that we are able to create tools to do stuff, right? We have gigantic brains that are extremely dense that are allowing us to do insane stuff.
I don't know if we're allowed to say gigantic brains.
I don't know. It's like they're really
dense. A whale has gigantic.
Yeah, but aren't they like watery though, or something?
I'll tell you what. I get gigantic brain.
Okay.
You go up.
Okay.
Can I get up top? Come on.
You can ask your whale buddies to do that with you.
I will when Avatar 3 comes out. I'll be talking to the Tolkien again.
Do you think they're gonna bring back the Water Nation a little bit, or are they just gonna be?
I don't know if they're bringing back the whole Water Nation, but they did confirm recently that Payakan will still be in the movie, and the Tolkuns will have like a bigger. A bigger like chunk of the film now. Like they're gonna be a bit more of like a force in the film.
Payakan is gonna the thing is he's gonna pilot a mech. He's gonna be a whale inside.
He's gonna have a girlfriend now. They're giving him a girlfriend.
That's
dude.
Awesome.
He's gonna have a partner.
That's awesome.
There's probably already Payakan porn.
Yeah, definitely. But like I was saying, we are taking. I don't think like numbers is our big thing, you know? You know what I mean?
See, here's the thing. For me, I think on paper, 100 guys have enough raw physical strength to overpower a gorilla.
Totally yes, but if you...
this is the second point. On paper. I think it's one of those things where it's like, in practice, it would never work.
Yeah, it would never work, yeah. If you...
Because nobody wants to be that first guy that has to walk up to the gorilla. Nobody wants to be the first guy in the pack.
Yeah, and
everybody will be like, "I'll come in like near the back. I'll help hold him down, but I'm not going to be the first."
Yeah,
guy.
if you had
because the gorilla's definitely going to kill the first couple guys.
If you had like a tug of war between 100 guys and a single gorilla, then sure, the total raw energy.
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. On paper, 100 guys would be able to overpower and kill a gorilla. Just if you look at it on the numbers, you know?
Yeah.
The raw numbers.
The raw Excel sheets.
If you ran like a simulation, then it would work. Yeah. But that's the issue, is that people wouldn't do that. Nobody would want to be the first guy.
They would see that first guy getting ripped in half, and then everybody would scatter. They would scatter immediately.
Exactly.
They would scream. There would be people pushing other people towards the gorilla, and that gorilla would be ripping them to shreds, you know. And the strong people would be pushing the weak people into the gorilla, and therefore that gorilla would be then destroying those people. Therefore, even the number advantage would be going down, because instead of working together, we would probably already create some sort of hierarchy of sacrificing people, the weak people that you put in quotations, to the gorilla. You know, we would there would be a microcosm of society within that arena already happening, you know? That's it would, but like, you know, didn't they do like, what is it called? Like a questionnaire, and they asked people, it's like, what's like an animal that you could fight, and people said they could fight a bear. It's like
fucking every
fucking
single
insane.
Every single like how do I word this? Basically, I would say pretty much everybody overestimates their own physical strength in relation to animals.
Yeah, I think so. Right?
I think
so insanely strong.
I think it's hard. It's hard to fight an animal. I think people would think like, and that's the thing. The only ones people get real about are the ones that they that it becomes like kind of a meme, you know? Enough people say like, I could take on a chimpanzee, until people start to go, I don't think you understand how strong a chimpanzee is.
Yeah.
And then those people flip and they go, actually, yeah, chimpanzee's really strong, actually. But
yeah.
probably like a bear or something, maybe.
Yeah, a whale, maybe. I
Or
could
a
fight whale.
large hog, like a
I could-
boar of some kind.
I'll get inside a whale and I'll punch the insides of him, you know? And then I
I
punch
don't
my way out.
know. How easy is it to be in a whale?
I don't think it's easy because I think their throats are really tiny. Like they don't have like you will
Because they
not,
just eat krill. They don't
Yeah.
need big throats
Yeah.
because they just eat tiny little. Eat big clouds of tiny things.
yeah. You're a diver in an ocean, and then you go to a whale. You go say what that throat do, and then he goes like sucks you, and you go like no please, and then you get stuck in the throat, right? Because there was an incident recently with like a paddleboarder. Is that what they call him? Where a whale like swallowed him, but it didn't
unfortunate.
swallow him because he just got, you know, he opened his mouth again. He fell out because he couldn't get past his throat, basically.
Yeah, the whale will recognize like that. Oh, I ate something that I'm not supposed
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I'm gonna get indigestion, you know, from
You know,
this.
he does like a big spittoon, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, underwater, so it's really slow. So he's like, "Ptu," and then there's a full solid like 7 seconds until you hear the "Pting."
Yeah, exactly. And it's very muted too, you know.
Yeah.
With the
It's like some bubbles.
Yeah, it's like it has the effect from the Aquaman when they talk in that movie.
It has the effect from Top Secret when they have the fight in the underwater.
Oh yeah, that's a
remember?
great scene. That's an
It's amazing.
amazing.
That's a
scene.
fantastic
It's such
scene.
that entire movie is just such a like full of so many like high effort gags, like that sort of shit. Where it's like, I like those. Like I watched Naked Gun recently, and it's kind of similar to that, you know, where it's like
They got the sequel coming out.
yeah, and I don't know if that's going to be good, honestly. Because I feel like they're going to be doing too, like even from the trailer with Liam Neeson, they're going to be doing too much CGI shit in it. And
Is it like a Lonely Island joint or something?
it's a Family Guy.
Something to do.
What is it called?
No, he's producing it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You know what?
I thought he was like in.
Well, I live in ignorance.
Yeah, exactly.
It says Naked Gun 2025, written by Dan Gregor. Doug Mand and Akiva Schaffer.
Good strong name.
I think Akiva Schaffer he's the Lonely Island guy. He's one of the guys in Lonely Island.
Gregor sounds like he would be a guy that comes at you with his hands out and is like, you know, he's just going to strangle you. He's going to grab you and then squish you, you know? Mm-hmm. That's what he sounds like.
I don't know if I agree, but sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, all right. Well, yeah, I don't know. It might be good. I don't know. The
see.
Chip and Dale movie they made before was not very good.
Oh,
the
what
one
was it
with
called? Back in Action? What was it called?
Rescue Rangers.
Rescue Rangers. Okay.
Where they were like, it's like a Roger Rabbit type deal.
Yeah. One of them gets an operation to become real life
CGI,
or whatever.
CGI.
Yeah, CGI.
Instead of a cartoon. They got
Yeah.
CCH Pounder in the new Naked Gun.
We
That's
watched
awesome,
that
dude.
quite
Dude, they got Paul
like
Walter
quickly,
Hauser in there.
and
We love Paul Walter Hauser, don't we?
we kind of forgot about it. From what I remember, we went
We
very
forgot about what? I've already forgotten what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't know if we're going back.
It was
further
a
than we were
huge
talking
thing
about.
for like a month. Everybody was like, "I can't believe they made this! Oh my god, they've got a joke in here about bad movie Sonic. How did they make this? How did they get away with this?" And then after like, there's a loud noise coming from outside. I should probably close my window. But hold on, it's just a plane.
So
After,
hot
like,
in the UK.
It is quite hot right now.
It's 15 degrees. All the Americans are like, oh, it's in Phoenix is 50
Well,
degrees
over
Celsius.
here it's 75 degrees Celsius every day. Oh no,
Yeah.
they would be like, it's currently 100 Fahrenheit,
Yeah, but then
which
it's
makes
like
more sense because it's attuned to the body and not water. It's
yeah,
like,
and then the
dumb.
Brits cope and they say, but it's a wet heat. You're doing dry heat over there.
It's
Which
humid.
is
This
different.
guy's kind of humid right now. It's not
Yeah.
too humid, but
It's
a little
not,
bit.
but it will get there. It will get really humid soon.
It's funny that with a lot of the American systems that they have for like dates
yeah,
and measurements, a lot of the time they'll try and justify it like, no, you don't understand. It makes more sense because of this, and this, and every single time it always just boils down to it's my thing and I'm used to it.
yeah, it is.
You don't understand. 80 degrees it just feels like 80 degrees. You know? No, you don't understand. The month before the date it just makes more sense.
I
that
don't.
way.
Yeah, I
It
always
just makes more sense when you do it that way, right?
I always get caught out for that. Like at work, I'll look at emails and people will sometimes reference this. It's like, is this which date format are they using here? It's such a dumb thing that to get wrong if you interpret it wrong.
Well, I get why they do it, but it doesn't make any sense. Because
What-
it's supposed to be in upper value, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you do month first because it only goes up to 12, and then the days because that will go up to 31 maximum.
Okay, yeah.
And then
max is different.
the years are infinite, obviously. So I think that's the idea. But every time they try and defend it, is like, oh, it just makes more sense because nobody says the 2nd of February. They always say February the 2nd. And it's like, nobody does that outside of America. Outside of America, everybody says the 2nd of February.
Yeah, I was surprised because do they say that? I was like, I guess I didn't notice that in the movies they would maybe say that.
And you know what? The number one way to catch them out?
Yeah.
4th of July.
No, that's true because it has a
They
good
don't
ring
say
to
July
it,
the
doesn't
4th,
it?
do they? They say 4th of July.
Yeah, 9/11.
But when they write it down in numbers,
9/11,
07,
same
04.
thing. Same thing.
9/11, 9th of November, exactly.
Exactly.
They're so stupid.
But yeah, the temperature stuff I never got. It was it kind of makes sense because our planet is made of water. Therefore, you have access to it at any point.
Water is kind of
therefore
a constant in the world.
in the world, right? So you
I
can
think
kind
it's
of,
fair to say, I understand 0 degrees is very bad.
Yeah.
100 degrees is very bad.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be at any of those.
Yeah.
I
exactly.
understand that water around 20 to 40 degrees is probably the ideal temperature for drinking it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Thus,
whatever.
I think I would probably want to be around that same sort of point,
Yeah, it is kind of pointless to even argue any of this stuff because it's this is just
They're not
whatever you
gonna
want to do.
change.
They'll
They
do
won't
their
change.
thing. Maybe
And we
if
love
some
them, don't we?
maybe
We
if
love
some maybe if some states break away from the US and they can join the European Union and adopt metric, in the
love 'em.
face of their, the civil war that's probably going to happen after that.
It would be because the Civil War movie was very bad. It would be very funny if it turned out to be exactly how that went down. All the states split off in that exact way as the movie
Yeah.
Civil War. Because as bad as that movie was, we would then have to hand it to him. And be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what? He did kind of. That was a pretty good guess.
Yeah,
on his
Alex
part.
Garnold,
You
you
got a
did it.
good guy. Alex Garland, good. You know what?
You did
I
it,
hand to
buddy.
you.
You
But
know,
until that happens, we won't know. We'll see.
we gotta looking
That's the
forward
kicker. If
to,
we get California-Texas alliance,
yeah, exactly.
that's when we know. That's when we have to hand it to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because
Until then, he doesn't get anything.
there were
they're not
states
very good
in going across the US, and there were a third faction or something. I don't know.
There were there were 4 factions in the movie.
Yeah, because it was
There was like
Western
was, like,
forces or whatever they called.
you had like the Southerns,
yeah.
the Southern states, and then you had like the Northwestern territories, and then you had the Northern territories. That was like your Maine, New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it was just kind of like the other guys.
Yeah, the flyover.
I kind of forgot
countries, I guess, at that point, right? When
the flyover states, as they call them.
The
Midwest.
They break away from the country, therefore they become countries. So there'll be like flyover countries, at that point.
Speaking of Civil War, hello, welcome to Dead Ensigns. I'm at war with Max right now. It's a civil podcast war because you know what? Yesterday we were on a call and he said, I've got some chicken nuggets, my treat. I got my treat. And then I said, Max, what about the boycott? And he said, he audibly went, gulp.
Gulp, because they were so delicious. That's why I ate him whole, That's why you
I said, where'd you get those nuggets? And he said, I got them from the Palestinian chicken place. And I was like, oh yeah, what's the name? And he was like, oh, fuck. Fuck, I don't have a name. And that's when I sussed out we went to McDonald's. Especially because he kept saying McNuggets. I don't know if you're allowed to say that, man.
I don't know. That's true. I might be being insensitive right now.
I'm Ben, this is Max.
Yeah, I already ate nuggets, and now I'm being insensitive,
So it's a classic Curb episode with the Palestinian chicken restaurant. It's a classic episode. There's a new Louis Theroux that came out last night that I need to watch. I haven't watched it. Did you hear about this?
Is it a?
It's about Israel.
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't. I only saw
settler ideology and stuff.
I only saw the interview with the woman from the. Yeah, it was a.
I've seen a couple clips and people were saying like, watch it now because who knows if they'll get lobbied to take it down. Which I don't know. I feel like if they were going to not release it, they probably would have not released it. But
who produces it?
I don't know, but it's a BBC thing, isn't it?
Oh, because I think he's with BBC, I guess. At least he's like doing it through BBC. Like he releases his like Louis Theroux documentaries through BBC. Yep. So I don't know.
And I will find a way to watch it, but I'm making it clear now in case any agent of His Majesty's television forces listen. I'm not paying for a TV license. I do not need a TV license. I will not be watching BBC. So back off. Stop sending me a letter. Oh, you need to opt out again. How about I just opt out the one time and stop talking to me? Well, nothing's changed. I hate
the BBC.
I hate the TV. I don't hate the BBC. I hate the TV license, and I don't like the BBC has other sources of income outside of the TV license. They have lots of other sources of income outside of the TV license.
But they want more, man. That's the issue. More. It's more money, man. Makes you. They make Google Box with that money. I think that's Channel 4.
That's Channel 4, bro. That's Channel 4. They make they make Doctor Who with that
Doctor Who with that money,
and then ship it out to America because I mean, I guess people probably still watch it in the UK.
People still watch it, I would imagine.
I haven't watched Doctor Who since I was like 12.
Yeah, I never got into it. So,
maybe more like, British. To be real, maybe more like 14.
Yeah.
Maybe more like 14, 15.
I don't know. I never gave it a chance, I feel like.
I liked it as a kid, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's probably something to enjoy there now, I guess. I feel like we can't judge too much because of the Star Trek stuff, which can be just as silly as Doctor Who.
Does Doctor Who hold a certificate or a degree that actually allows him to be called a doctor, or is that never touched on in the show?
I'm sure they've made jokes about it like a million times in the show. There's no way they haven't.
And that hack.
Been like had some guy on the show, probably multiple times, gone like, and what are you a doctor of exactly?
Yeah. Imagine if you're on a plane and there's a guy like having a heart attack, and then somebody says like, "Is there a doctor around here? Is there a doctor?" And then the Doctor Who comes up, and you're like, "Fuck,
dude, that would be good." No, that would be awesome. That'd be better than a medical doctor. Because he'd point his fucking sonic screwdriver at you and be like, "He needs 10 cc's of of salt, and then he'd just pour some salt into your mouth, and all of a
that's
sudden
true.
you'd be like, "Oh, I'm good," and then he'd be like, your heart was being massaged by a sprang lord.
Yeah, a phantom
There's a
Spanglord.
there's a sprang lord on this plane, and he's trying to kill everybody. We need to find him. The issue is the sprang lord has the ability to disguise himself as a random British celebrity, and we need to find him now.
Yeah. And the Dalek is here for some reason.
But Doctor, this
Exterminate.
plane is heading towards the British daytime TV conference.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, they're gonna fly
Everybody
into the
here
building.
is from again this morning on Channel 4. We're fucked. The Sprang Lord is gonna get us.
Yeah.
And then he finds him out.
And he does it. He succeeds, you know,
did,
because he always does. I would imagine. I don't know. I haven't watched the show. You have to tell me if he wins most of the time. I would imagine maybe.
I think he tends to be the one that wins. I think is kind of the.
That's good. That's good because
kind
we
of the
don't want
structure of the
to. We
show.
don't want a loser as a hero. You know?
I think the times he loses are when it's like a two-parter.
he comes
The
back,
end of
comes
the first
back,
part
and then,
he
yeah.
like loses, and then the next part he wins.
He wins. I skipped
then
the
he
first
maybe
part
has
and
to,
I
like-
watched the
He might have to
second
like
part.
regenerate or something,
yeah.
and become a different guy.
Different guy.
But I mean, I don't know. We can't really judge. We watch Star Trek. That can be just as silly.
That's true. I can't wait for
lots of
after this
stupid
Doctor,
stuff.
they use AI. They generate a human, like they generate a new face, and and it's just an AI guy, you know.
They just make the Doctor forever. That's
They
the one. And then if people ever get tired of him, they just generate a new one.
Yeah, they just generate a new one. That's
There you go, everybody. It's the new one.
they generate the voice, you know. They generate everything. Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah,
Well, we're overdue for a show like that. It won't be too long. I was reading a thing that was like some film festival that had like an AI generated movie, and it was like 75 minutes of just like complete and utter garbage, and there was a Q&A afterwards, and the person who made the film had fucking no idea what they were talking about.
so there was just like AI shit, and then they were just like
No, the entire movie was
Yeah.
AI generated.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it took them like they said it took them like 3 days to make the film of them just like typing in prompts and stuff and getting
3
scenes
days.
and putting
Okay.
it all together, and it's like 75 hours. It's like 75 hours. It's like 75 minutes long or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, this director was just like, well, you know, I made it,
Yeah. Yeah, nothing behind it, yeah.
and everybody was just like, this is terrible. This is
I think
absolutely mind-numbing nothingness.
There was a like a clip from a company that was like showing off their like thing to generate like videos and stuff, and like they were like hyping up the fact that you can like have the context between shots, you know, like having the same character and stuff, because that's a big thing, you know. It's like because none of these fucking generating things is able to even like maintain context from scene to scene, and they were like, we did it, and it looks like garbage, and it's like even if it doesn't even maintain context. It's just they're very similar, but you can tell that they're slightly different, the designs from like shot to shot, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, and it's like
Another big thing people are starting to realize with ChatGPT is that they've gone too hard into just making it reaffirm whatever the person
Yeah,
is saying, and
I've
people
seen
are
that.
starting to realize that.
it just glazes you. It's like I see.
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and
you
it's
just like, I had kind of a rough day, and then it like writes 3 paragraphs about like,
a genius.
no
you
rough
are.
day could ever keep you down. You're the
Yeah.
best person in the world, and nobody's gonna get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your day was kind of bad, you have the ability to go out there and destroy it and kill it and crush it, and you're the best. You're the boss of the world. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, "This sucks." You know what it's like?
Yeah.
It's like in the Matrix when they say like, we gave the humans the perfect world first, and they rejected it. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
This is what people
what's
wanted. They
happening,
wanted
yeah.
the affirmation box where they could put their penis inside of it and get it all
But
slobbered
the thing
up
is
by a
that they
machine.
don't want to know that it's an affirmation box because it's too
Exactly.
obvious now, you know?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
need to dial it back a little bit, you know? Because if you know that doesn't feel good anymore.
Yeah. They're like, wait a minute. This is starting to feel really fake and empty.
Yeah, this has
Fuck,
not.
I don't
Yeah.
like it now.
Yeah, I'm looking
Oh,
into
why
its
did I
eyes.
pay
and
for this?
They're like shark eyes, black eyes. There's nothing behind them.
People just need to be comfortable feeling empty and alone sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Alex Garland, Max, you saw some movie that was partly made by him.
Yeah, I
Some
seen
crap, right?
Warfare. A movie about warfare in Iraq. Yeah, it was. It was a lot of one of the main reasons I kind of went to see it. I've heard a lot of talk about
All the
propaganda,
guns.
propaganda.
You're a big
and
gun guy. You love guns.
I like the mechanics of weaponry, but I don't really care that much
You love
for the
warfare.
killing aspect of it.
I was interested in. I was interested in the movie because I wanted to see the strategy. I've been getting into Sun Tzu's Art of War. I've been
that's
doing a
true.
lot of Nobunaga's Ambition. I watched Four Samurai yesterday. I'm getting really into Four Samurai, Seven Samurai yesterday.
You got used to
The budget version.
That's a budget version. They have less actors. Yeah.
I got it on Temu. Am I right, everybody? Hey-o. So I've been getting into the strategy of it all, and I was tempted because I'm like, what kind of strategies were these platoons using out there when they were murdering civilians and such?
Yeah.
You know?
And which is, according to this movie, no strategy whatsoever, because
Sometimes you got to keep them guessing.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta get yourself into a very tough situation and then cry and scream and be in pain for like 2 hours and then run away. Because this is the experience of these people that they basically went through in this movie.
Tell me about this film, Max. Tell me about Warfare.
It is very interesting in a way when it tries to portray the kind of like a very tough combat combat scenario, right? Where you're basically, like America as a empire, it relies a lot on like superiority of military. That's what its thing is, right? It's able to kind of go into a situation, and because they have so much more equipment, they have so much technology on their side, they're able to kind of do whatever they want, right, at that point. And in this situation, in this movie, we get kind of like this situation of where as the scenario gets worse and worse, as the stakes get higher, that gets withdrawn. These people that were sent into this situation, they're the things that they rely on, right? Where they have the aerial support, they have access to the radio communications and stuff like that. They have access to armored vehicles, for example, slowly gets withdrawn from them, and how panicked they become in that situation, and just in general, just the kind of pointlessness of the mission in Iraq in general, how in the end nothing was done, and so much pain these people went through, and the civilians and the just in general people that took part in that conflict went through. And there's interesting there's an interesting choice in this movie where it doesn't portray casualties of the Taliban at all. You don't see a single Taliban fighter get shot in this movie. You do not see them fall and die, like in a lot of other war media, you could say, where you have a protagonist or whatever.
What is this, Top Gun or something? They got a faceless enemy?
Yeah, they have a... No, not faceless. They're literally... is what I think this movie is trying to show, the fact that these people, these American soldiers, are kind of they're not welcome. They're fighting people that are in their land. They're fighting the ghosts, basically. In the end, they are fighting ghosts that they can't, they are using this, their surroundings to their own advantage, and they're not people like you see in other media where they just like ran out into the middle of a street and then start shooting and they get shot back and they die, like they are using tactics because this kind of conflict is causing them to use, right? Because they're
out of their element.
The
Marines.
Yeah, exactly. They're out of their element because they get that superiority withdrawn from them. And I feel like this movie is better than Civil War in the at least the messaging, I guess, and like just because it is very much just a portrayal of a situation, and it isn't trying to kind of tell you if this is bad or wrong. And most of it is like, there is a lot of stuff where it's like, this sucks. Like, what the fuck? This is really bad, but it doesn't, linger on that fact. It just shows you, like, I guess it's like, and I guess you can have issues with that, right? Where it doesn't vocalize what it means a lot, in certain situations, and I don't want to spoil certain aspects of this movie, but I liked it. It went by pretty fast when I watched it. It was like, to imagine that people were kind of put through this is insane. And I don't know, people that are like, this is a propaganda film, are like, well, if someone is like seen this film and at the end of it they're like, yeah, man, this is the shit, I'll be like, you're too far gone at that point. I don't know, you could show him like green army men fighting and be like, yeah, I want this, and they'll join the army.
I haven't seen the movie, so I can't comment on whether it is propaganda or not, but propaganda doesn't necessarily need to exist in the idea of like somebody watches it and then goes, war is awesome, know?
Yeah.
Like crying and shooting films.
Yeah.
Are a form of propaganda as well. And I think it was Michael Haneke said something about like that there is no anti-war film,
Yeah.
There is no film about war can ever be anti-war,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't seen the movie though, so I can't say if it's propaganda. I have been seeing people saying it would be propaganda inherently by it being a film about the Marines in the Iraq War. But I haven't seen it. I don't really have any plans to see it. I don't have an interest in it. So.
The only but then we're saying that basically any portrayal is like should be forbidden, right? That's the thing. It's like
no, I get that, and I'm not saying I agree with that sentiment.
By not tackling these subjects, we are leaving this entire thing in the hands of people that are kind of can be like larger propagandists even, like they will, because they're going to tackle these subjects anyway, these propagandists that will use these sort of movies for recruitment purposes, right? And like, they will be still there, right? But they will have no alternatives. There will be no opposition of any sort, it won't be a media on the opposite. So by saying that any war movie is a propaganda film, then we'll just have propaganda films, if I guess, talented directors, is a pretty well-made movie and executed well, we will just let, fascists, let's say, for example, just use that medium, fill out the space with just their kind of portrayal of warfare, which could be a very positive portrayal, right?
Yeah, all I meant was that I don't think people need to come out of the film going, "Woo, yeah, America," for it to be propaganda. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't seen the film, so I can't comment on whether I think it is or not. So I'm just saying I think the example you give of why you don't think it, how you think like if somebody came out of this thinking war is awesome, then they would be too far gone. So the film isn't propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It might not necessarily be the case. I don't know, but I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
Mm-hmm.
But all right then.
But
Good acting. Were the boys cute?
It's a lot of screaming of pain and misery.
Did any of them
There's
kiss, or?
a lot of things happening. There is, I feel like a lot of the performance is kind of collective, you know, because it's a performance of the scene, you know, because there's just so much shit, you know, happening at the same time, that there isn't like a very kind of individuals performing a scene, you know. It is like just the chaos of the situation that's just very kind of scary. Let's say that, you know, very scary. But we can talk about something that we've both seen, which is Sinners, I guess, right?
Yeah. We're gonna be. I mean, I feel like it will be talked to death.
Yeah, at this
episode
point,
is out at this point, unfortunately, and I feel like I've talked to many people about it, so I'm starting to feel fatigued of it, and I've actually decided that the movie isn't good because I'm tired of hearing about it.
That's good.
So I think the movie sucks now.
All right.
It's the Everything Everywhere All at Once of 2025.
Okay.
Where it's like, you know, I just wish people would shut up about it now. Right?
Yeah, because it's over.
It's not like that good. It's not like the best movie ever made.
Is it? Are you saying that? Do you think this is it happening quicker? This sort of than with everything all at once, or is it like?
I'm just trying to get ahead of the curve so I can have some when it does come in, like in like a couple months or so, we can get some credibility with like with people who feel that way, you know, get some downloads from people like that. So they'll be like, whoa, these guys were ahead of the curve. Look, this guy's saying that the movie was overrated. Like a week after it came out. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
but in reality, I love the film. But you know, we want to talk. You cut this bit as well. We want to talk about that.
Because I was thinking in terms of exponentially, you know, over the years, movies are going to go into that section. It's going to get shorter at that time. It's going to get shorter.
No. They usually. No, because it ebbs and flows, you know. Because I mean, you look at like Revenge of the Sith, that got re-released like this weekend.
Yeah, and it was like one of the biggest.
People flooded to see it. Everybody's saying like, actually, this might be one of the best Star Wars films. And it's like, I don't know. I remember when that movie came out, and it wasn't very good. And I haven't rewatched it, so maybe there's some essays I could read that would enlighten me on it, but I don't know. I feel like that one was maybe not good. So I don't know. You know, give it a couple years. We'll say Sinners was actually pretty underrated again, and then, you know, maybe a little bit after that, we'll say actually it was actually kind of not that good. Yeah, and then eventually we'll land on like a comfortable medium, I think.
Yeah. It was okay.
It's the same with Everything,
it was
Everywhere, All at Once.
But it had its negatives, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, there was some good bits, there was some bad bits, and that's, you know, generally that's the movie. So, you know.
It was still I was very surprised. It was no surprise, I guess. It is a movie with a lot of buzz. It was still the theater was full basically for this. Okay. So yeah, a bit over. I loved the movie. Did you enjoy the movie? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it was good.
No, yeah. I mean, I thought it would be well received. I mean, it was well received before the movie came out. Before I saw it, you know, the previews had really, really good ratings and stuff. People that were seeing it like a week early were saying this is a great film. Despite that, in terms of like butts in seats, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
even in week two, very like a record low drop off.
Yeah,
rate.
the movie only made $60 million in its first only $60 million of a budget.
Isn't that like a record breaking opening weekend for an original film or something?
It's really bad actually when you think about it really hard.
It's great. This because for the last couple of months, man, every single movie that's come out, all of the news stories have been like, this movie cost this much, only made this much, movies are dead, cinemas are dying. This one did so well, people have backed off now, and they're like, we asked Ryan Coogler what his favorite black vampire is. He said Blade. It's like they're backing off.
It's a daywalker. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, this is people are loving it. I think this is the strength of the film, and this is a metric for me with films. Sometimes I'll see a film like this, and it will make me think, like, if I were like a media studies teacher, you know, in fucking college or sixth form or whatever, and I was like, I need to show a movie that I can get kids to engage with and dissect on both like a narrative level, like thematic level, but also a technical level, but is also very entertaining and nuanced enough for that discussion, I would choose a movie like this.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's very, it balances out entertainment, pure entertainment value of the film. You know,
yeah, with the kind
seeing
of
it
thematic
at the
of
theater, big screen, all that audio, maybe some popcorn and soda in your hand.
I can't do that stuff. I'll piss throughout the movie if I drink.
I have the world's strongest bladder.
They call
I
you a
sat
barrel.
through Four Samurai yesterday. Why did I call it Four Samurai again?
Yeah,
you know what
I
it
don't know
is? You know what it is? Because for some reason, the first thing that comes to my mind that is a 4-hour-long movie. For some reason. So when I go to say the name of it, my brain goes for the first number that's in my head, which is 4. For some reason.
4-Hour Samurai. That's a pretty good title. 4-Hour Samurai.
4-hour energy.
4-Hour energy.
7-hour samurai.
7-Hour Samurai.
So, yeah, no, I've got the world's strongest bladder. I sat through all of 7 Samurai, you know. I even had like a medium-sized Pepsi during it. I'm just stronger than... well, I don't know about average man, but maybe in terms of bladder, stronger than most, it might seem.
Yeah. You can put a nut down your urethra and then use your bladder to open it.
Crush
you know?
it. I can crush walnuts.
Yeah, with my bladder.
I can. Yeah, they're. Let's just say they're powder before they hit the vas deferens. Let's just say that, okay?
When Ben gets kidney stone, he goes, "Not today."
Yeah, I don't need the fucking sound gun or whatever they use on your kidneys to blast the stone to dust. That shit is coming out a fine sand, like a desert dune or something.
And that's gonna be our first merch drop. It's gonna be the as for healing properties. You're gonna be able to get kidney stone sand from Ben. That's our
That's
dead
disgusting. That's probably one of the most vile things I've ever heard you say.
That would be amazing.
I've heard you say some pretty gross stuff, but the idea of selling kidney stone powder as merchandise for a podcast is absolutely horrid.
Original, man.
It is very original. And more than likely going to be what I'd use for the thumbnail of this episode, possibly even title. Like a pouch of sand and then a fake like kidney stone powder label on it or something. Yeah. We'll see. What were we even talking about?
Sinners, man.
So Sinners, just on entertainment value, this is a great film to go and see with people. It's an action horror film. I would say light on the horror. Like, it's not particularly scary. But there are some jumps in there. There's some violence, some gore. Not too gratuitous, though. It's a violent movie. There's like a helicopter flying over my apartment.
They're after you, man.
It's a violent movie, but it's not very gratuitous. There's a lot of like blood and blood spraying and some open wounds. But outside of that, it's not that bad.
There's a lot of fucking in this movie. So
that's the main thing.
Yeah. So
go see it with your friends or a lover. Don't see it with your parents because they are eating pussy in this film. Yeah. And not only are they doing it, they're talking about it.
Yeah, and then it's there's when that scene comes on and you're with your parents, you gotta do the thing where you look around. You don't look
Not
at the
me, I'm
screen.
looking at them.
I was looking at your parents.
And I'm shaking my head
I was like,
to let them know I don't approve.
Yeah. And,
Can you believe this?
yeah,
I'm saying, can you believe they're showing this on the big screen?
No wonder this movie is called Sinners.
This is terrible. They really are the sinners.
Yeah, because we know that only sinners eat pussy.
True. I mean, didn't DC say heroes don't do that or something?
Yeah,
right?
see, heroes
When,
don't
when asked
eat
about
pussy,
Batman eating
Batman.
pussy or something, they said heroes don't do that.
That's the kryptonite for Batman. It's pussy eating.
I could talk a lot about this movie, but I feel like I
But
feel like
you could
tire
get
out
Ben's
too
thoughts
much.
on our Patreon now. There isn't.
That would be
anything
awesome though if we had. Man, I think about it sometimes.
What,
There's
having
just
a
no-
Patreon?
There's just no need for it, is there?
No, because
Because
nobody
we
listens
love giving
to
it
this.
out for free.
Yeah, we're loose like that. I don't know. That was horrible when I said it. I was like,
You might be loose. I'm not loose. I'm like
You're-
Fort Knox.
Yeah, you're like your bladder.
Mm-hmm.
What if I could describe Ben in one word? It would be tight. That's what I would call it.
Don't say that, man. Okay. So yeah, I'll move on from my point. I'll finish my point rather. Is that it's got the entertainment value to keep butts in seats, but also it's a very readable and nuanced film. There's a lot of thought put into the writing, the dialogue, and the narrative. There's a lot of thought put into the theming of the film and how it's portrayed on screen. And there's just some like truly beautiful like technical work in there and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's just through and through. I know a lot of people don't like to give films like a perfect score or a 10 out of 10 because they're like, well, nothing could ever be perfect, can it? But at least for me, it's like this is one of those ones where it like hits every nail for me perfectly.
All right.
You know,
Okay.
so I don't know. How do you feel? How do you
It's,
feel? about it?
for me, it's more
Sinners.
like an 8. I would imagine. I really like the theming and the music. Like all the musical stuff is amazing in this film, and I love how creative it is. Like just in terms of just the visuals and how to, like it does feel like a musical sometimes, where it is like a. Not only just the performance of the song, but there is like this story element to every single song. You know, that's like pushing the what's it called, the narrative forward, which I loved. Like the song where he starts playing the guitar and it shows like the history of
That whole
of,
sequence
it's amazing.
is
you know, it's
gorgeous, dude.
Yes.
The second time, because I saw it in the cinema twice. The second time I saw it, it was like I was getting emotional. There's something about that scene that just like, just so well done.
yeah. It's
And the way it leads, you go up through the burning roof, and, and outside, and it leads into the arrival of the antagonist of the film. It's just like,
and even
it's just perfect. Ryan
yeah.
Coogler is like really showing his understanding of the art form in this film. He's really killing it in this one.
There's just like the things that the gripes I have of the movies. There's just some pacing stuff when it comes
White
to
people are the villains. I know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't like it.
The pacing of the fight scenes, like the specifically action scenes in the movie, is a bit off to me in my opinion, at least. There's a lot of the kind of start and stop happening, and I don't know. I was like a little bit like it doesn't flow as well as it could. But that's minor stuff that isn't just
Dock
really...
a whole 2 points for that? What the hell?
Yeah, you know.
That's a whole 2 points off the score for you? Damn.
Yeah, you know. It's not a perfect
Hard to
movie,
please.
you know. It's
That's the thing. So I don't think a 10 is an objectively perfect film. I understand the sentiment of like there is no objectively perfect film because art itself is entirely subjective. There's no objectivity to it. It's all about the viewer of the film or the piece of art itself. But I've never felt that a perfect score necessarily means the movie is objectively perfect, but rather the execution is so well done, but also in terms of like at least the reception of the person, watching it hits for them. That's what a perfect score means for me personally. But I get it. I'm not trying to say you should be giving it a 10.
Well, it sounds like it.
Well, it's questionable that very, very, black focused film.
Yeah, I
and
know,
being
I know.
Like, well, some of the pacing
Yeah.
wasn't as good, so 8.
Yeah,
IGN Max
which is
over
really
here.
bad. I guess
IGN
an
Max over
I
here.
feel like
We-
Ben just
Max.
doesn't understand scores. The numbers.
I don't think. No, you don't understand where we are at as a society. right
Yeah.
Scores below a 5 do not exist unless you're like Pitchfork. They're the only people that still give things below 5 without trying to make a point.
Okay.
An 8 at this point is like a 4
All right.
in reality.
I give Sinners a 7 then. I'm docking it.
See,
for
now you
just
just
this
gave it a
reaction.
3.
I'm
Now
gonna
you gave
give
it more like a it's more like a 1 really.
Now, because of this, I'm giving it a 6.
I don't even want to. That's like a 0.2 on
Now
the,
it's
on the reality
now,
scale.
now it's a 5. Now it's a 5.
All right. Well, I just feel like you're letting your
you know what's the
pettiness
worst thing
overtake
is you're doing it. I'm not doing anything.
it. Stop hitting yourself. But yeah, I mean,
Go,
yeah.
go see it in the
I guess it's
cinema
fair.
while it's still up, because it is still up and people are going to see it, and it's, good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I didn't feel like there was any issue with the pacing and the action and stuff. What could you elaborate? What do you mean by it was very stop-start? Like
there
you
is a
never
lot
felt
of-
like it really got going. Or?
Situations where you have characters stop in the middle of an action scene where there's something like zoom in on a certain thing and it feels it like I said, it feels very stop-start, where the kind of basically the action will start, and then suddenly you get a situation where I don't know, an example, like the fight with the twins when they fight, that felt that way for me a lot, where it was like a very kind of I don't know. It's just like at this point, it really flew out of my head when I started talking about it.
All right, well, never.
But
mind.
in general, like all this, like this. You have the situations with the doors too, where that repeats multiple times, and that feels very start and stop. Like it's happening again and again, and then I don't know. It's I get the theming of it and stuff, but at the same time, it's just like beating you over the head a little bit, with that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't like it. You didn't like it. It's fine.
Now it's a
Agree to
4.
disagree.
Now it's a 4.
I personally didn't have the issues, but it's to each
Yeah.
own. What do I? I'm the guy that said it was perfect. So what do I
Yeah,
know?
exactly. But yeah, it's
It's out. You can see it.
out. You can
It'll
go
probably
see
be
it.
there for a little while because it's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel weird because it's like, on the one hand, I do want to be like, people are talking about box office too much, but then I don't want to fall into the trap where when a box office is good, I go, wow, this box office is doing really well, as though it's
Yeah.
a metric that should be paid attention to when it comes to like the art itself.
There is
How do you square that away?
there is an art to selling, I think. Like there is like you. In the end, we do create products, and I feel like things need to pay for themselves in a way. A little bit. Because
I'm
that's
of the
thing
mind that
there-
art should be made for the sake of it, and that doesn't gel with how it is done, obviously.
Yeah,
Because
but
there's no funding for these things without there at least being the understanding that it will pay off, but but personally, that doesn't matter too much to me. I guess
So, yeah, but the thing
I'm
is
not
that it's
thinking
about
that too much when I'm watching a film.
who's going to pay the crew. Like that's what
They
I'm
already
thinking.
paid
Like,
the
'cause
crew. They
there
already paid the
isn't
crew.
just about the idea of like but exactly they already paid the crew, but the next you don't live off a single gig, do you?
No, they
You
make
live
different
of
movies.
another. You have to make something that people will go see again. Because you can continue living, right? So you can continue making a living, right? And stuff like that. Because if you get a situation like, for example, during communism, right, where you had movies made by the government, right? You had the cultural institutions in the government. The kind of movies suddenly can become, there is no ownership of them, in general. And then suddenly, if the situation changes, they could stop existing, in a single second,
True. I mean, you can say the same about the
Yeah,
current
exactly, because you can get it
situation as
cancelled
well.
and stuff, yeah. But
Especially if people decide that they're not being paid enough, then it all gets shut down.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I mean, my point wasn't that, people should work for free.
Yeah.
But just that, I don't know, man. I'm not too bothered about box office at this point. I try and
Yeah.
put it out of my mind because for me as the viewer, it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, it will be
And
interesting.
especially like it's also like, I mean, we talked about it with the Electric State and stuff, where it's like it's not necessarily like that the movies need a good return. It's more that they need to have they need to make films for less money again.
Yeah, yeah,
The movies from studios are becoming too much of like a one and done, where they just pump everything into one big film
In
that
one
may or may
project,
not
yeah.
returns. And the chances are it doesn't have any return because they put too much fucking money in it, and people don't go and see the movie.
I like, that's the thing, because we're kind of industry outsiders. So it would be interesting to see where that money is going. Like what's so expensive, about these movies. Is it the VFX? Is it like, how much is the VFX? Because like maybe they're just fucking ridiculously expensive.
VFX is expensive,
You
especially if you need to like rush it, because that's the issue with a lot of the
yeah,
Disney
that's
stuff
true.
over the last
Yeah.
5 years. Is that the VFX is expensive, and then you also have to factor in paying for changes, because a lot of the
Okay.
time they will reshoot stuff and then change. I mean, just think about the fucking like. You remember the Doctor Strange movie and the Spider-Man movie? How those
Yeah.
were supposed to come out in a different order originally?
Oh, I
It
didn't
was
know
supposed
that.
to be Doctor Strange first and then Spider-Man, and then at a certain point they were like, no, let's do Spider-Man first. You gotta fucking reshoot a bunch of stuff, and those films are all shot on green screen, so if you're reshooting stuff, you need to create more environments for them to be in and green screen them into it and change other bits and stuff. So it just keeps fucking ballooning and ballooning, man. And on top of that, they keep paying for more and more of these people to come back, and they obviously will want more and more money as they keep doing them.
Yeah, that's true.
especially nowadays when their residuals are so low that they have to rely on the initial initial payment for the performance itself. I don't know. It's all fucked, man.
Yeah,
The Blumhouse stuff was kind of not a bad way of going, because it's like, as long as you get one film that really like hits with people and makes money, it makes up for all the other ones. And then subsequently, later on, you can be like, let's do another 10 films that are all relatively low budget, pay for a cast and crew, and they get another load of work and everything, and then one of those will hopefully do well, and you just kind of keep that cycle going for a bit.
yeah.
Until AI comes along, and then you don't have to pay anybody.
I wonder if
That's another thing. A lot of money's being pumped into LLMs from these studios and stuff, because they do want to be able to eventually come out. It's why everybody's like, oh man, when these studios find out that I can generate Mickey Mouse jacking off with this thing, they're gonna be really pissed off. And it's like, they don't really care, because they do want to eventually be able to generate an entire Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Yeah, without any artists.
Without paying anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So they really don't give a shit that you've got Mickey Mouse jerking off. They don't care that you can be like, here's Iron Man having sex with Captain America. I bet Disney's so pissed off. And it's
if you try making money out of it, that's when they care, and they will probably sue you into the ground.
They'll sue you as well.
Yeah,
they won't sue the machine that made it.
Exactly. They won't allow you to make, it would be weird. It's just in general, like the LLM stuff, just like machine learning stuff. The generative AI stuff is like, it's in terms of copyright stuff, it's still just such a it's still fucked. Nobody wants to actually like look at it and like actually establish boundaries or whatsoever, because it can so easily basically ruin the entire, like, all these speculative investors invested so much money into this.
Every country is courting them. Yeah. Every single country wants to be the home of AI.
The home of AI, yeah.
And in order to do that, they have to be able to not put in laws that would give the artists whose work is being scraped to create this stuff the right to any of their work.
Yeah, that's true.
And if a country does do too much, then it's like you do just give way for another country to do even less, and then that becomes the one to go to. That's the country that you go to if you want to do your AI startup. I watched The Master. Hard segue. No segue even.
No segue. Yeah, it's just
just because I realized we were getting on a bit, I think, and
you still wanted to talk about something?
Nah, not to any exceptional degree.
Oh yeah, because you're still watching the.
Yeah, because I didn't want to. I wanted to bring them up as opposed to next time, because I've only got 2 movies left to watch, and if I talk about Phantom Thread without having spoken about these 2, then I don't know. I'll feel weird about it. I don't know. It's not like anybody will complain, but
Yeah. Definitely.
In my head, I'll be like, I never talked about The Master and Inherent Vice. The Master was excellent. Inherent Vice was probably the weakest Paul Thomas Anderson film so far. Still a great movie, but of the films I've seen, probably the weakest. It's a direct adaptation of the book Inherent Vice by Thomas Pynchon, which I had not read before, and I still haven't read it. I'll probably get around to it, because I think Tom Pynchon novels I'm going to try and... Because his next film that's coming out in September is also an adaptation of Vineland, I think. Like a loose adaptation. So I'll read more Pynchon novels, but I digress. Inherent Vice was pretty good. Great Joaquin Phoenix performance, but an even better Joaquin Phoenix performance in The Master. You should check out The Master, Max. I think you'd enjoy this film.
Master Blaster from Into the Thunderdome. That's
Philip Seymour Hoffman is playing Master Blaster.
No, that's awesome. He's playing
and
both.
He is, yes, and he is Master Blaster of Joaquin Phoenix.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I might give it a watch.
It's a good movie. It's about Joaquin Phoenix plays like this ex-Navy officer after World War II, I think it is. Who's like also an insane moonshiner. So he's some kind of savant with like just mixing horrible chemicals to create fantastic brain-destroying brews,
Wait, so he's like a drug maker? Is that what you like? That's what you mean? That's what you mean?
Well, like moonshine, like mixing
moonshine.
fucking like
alcohol,
engine fuel and fucking paint thinner and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's got a horrible life. He can't control himself, and he stumbles onto a boat that ends up being owned by a cult. A a very Scientology-esque
And he
religion.
defeats them using his moonshine. Is that what you're saying?
No, he kind of becomes the protege of the master of the religion, who's played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's very L. Ron Hubbard, inspired guy. Very nautical, and it's all about like, at first it has the kind of like regression stuff with past lives, where it's like going back into past lives to help balance out your like karmas and stuff. But then as it goes on, it starts to be more like there's an alien soul trapped inside of you and stuff like that.
They get you in with like the easy stuff, and then they reveal all the like stuff. Once you're already they clamped in on you, you're like, fuck. No,
but it's like he's Joaquin Phoenix. They're both excellent. Everybody in the film is excellent. This is a fantastic film. I wish I'd seen it sooner. But Joaquin Phoenix is like he's like an animal in this film. He's like controlled by his vices,
Oh, okay.
He's controlled by his vices, his desire for women and alcohol and stuff. And
who doesn't desire that?
True. And this group is trying to help him, but at the same time, he's kind of upsetting some of the other people in the religion because they think he's like an agent, or that he's trying to like gain control of it.
Yeah. He's a usurper.
Yeah. But it's just a good ass film.
Nice.
Great movie. I'd recommend it.
Oh, you got
Inherent
two
Vice
more.
was also good.
You got two movies left, right?
Yeah, I've got Phantom Thread, and then I've got Licorice Pizza. I have already seen Licorice Pizza.
Mm-hmm. Then you
Saw
only
that a
got
few
one
years
left.
ago when it came out. Oh, I'll rewatch Licorice Pizza. 'Cause it was pretty good. But I do only have one unseen film left, Phantom Thread, so I'll probably talk about that next week. I realized I'm looking at my waveform, and I can see sometimes it gets very, very small, and I remember I need to get a little bit closer and a little bit louder.
Tiny.
Enunciate a bit more, you know what I mean?
Or you can... Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can
is
be a
true.
bit
I'm
further
saying
away,
it's true.
but a bit louder instead. And then
Yeah, but I don't like to be particularly loud.
you don't
I
want
like
to
a
scream.
moderate volume.
You don't want to
close enough
release
to the
an
mic.
illy version of the podcast, which is just your side to your neighbors.
See, now I'm leaning real far. I'm actually rolling my chair away.
Yeah.
And I'm getting further and further away. But I'm getting a little louder. But
Nice.
not too loud. Now I'm very quiet. I'm very far away from it.
He's a tiny Ben.
And then I come right back in.
You can. It's like that.
Rolling
You
my
know,
chair
in the View where they go like, "Boo, turn off your phones." You know, that's what it sounded
Oh,
like.
God, yeah. Oh, I hate those things.
Yeah, I hated that shit. I was
Every
just like,
time.
I get it. Just put a fucking thing that says
Too much.
"turn off your phone," and I don't want to waste another fucking 5 minutes watching this shit. Just put the
fucking
movie on.
Get it?
please.
We're done with the previews. Just put it on. Just put it on.
I am sitting
Those-
in a cinema. I'm sitting in a cinema that I probably go to because it's the nearest one. So you're not competing with anybody else currently.
On top of that, it's like they do that. They got to do their own cinema reels.
Yeah.
Of like, turn off your phone, go and get concessions, get comfy. It's time for the movie to begin. And then the movie doesn't begin because they then have to show the direct sponsor of the cinema chain.
Yeah.
They have to be
exactly.
like, go, here's a car advert, and then they play the movie. Mm-hmm. Pisses me off, man.
Yeah, cinemas
hate
should
the
fucking
world.
die.
I'm sick of them. You know what? Fuck you, Ryan Coogler, for saving the cinemas.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have. You should have put
Yeah,
that shit
that's true.
straight on Tubi.
Daily Motion.
Put that stuff on Hulu from now on. I'm not going to the cinema to see Sinners 2
Yeah.
Stacks Back. That'd be a good subtitle for the sequel.
That is
right?
a good
Stacks
one.
Back.
Yeah. Stacks Back.
Stack's Back, and it's a sequel just about Stack. It's not even really related to anything that happens in the first Sinners movie.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like 2003 Stack and
I mean, that would be interesting. I wonder if they make a sequel with if they're gonna do another vampire film, or they're just gonna do like a different entity of some sort. That would be
I'll
interesting.
be honest. I think Kevin Feige is gonna write him like a blank check.
Maybe.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't know if Ryan Coogler will take it, but I think it will be an obscene amount of money that one can't refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are talking about him now in such a way that it's like he as a director is becoming a name, you know.
But hopefully,
And
yeah,
if that happens, that's when you want to. Because I mean, he made the Black Panther films. People really like that first one. A lot of people like the second one.
I haven't watched the second one.
I was thinking about it recently. You know, a lot of those TV shows nowadays feel like an extended movie, you know?
Yes,
You're
that's
like,
true.
this is just like an 8-hour long film.
Yeah.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the opposite of that, where it's a movie that feels like a TV. You feel like you watch 6 episodes of a TV show.
Okay, I didn't know that's
it's
no,
a bit
it's a
much.
good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
Bad, I think. Not good. Not
But
good,
it's
I
like
think.
that's the thing. It's when you get a good thing and you concentrate it down, then it's like better.
You think, I can't remember if I probably talked about it when I watched it.
I don't remember.
Like a month or two ago. Or it would have been like 3 months
because you were
ago at this
watching
point.
the
I
shows,
was
right? You
watching
went.
them and the movie. No, I watched
You
the
were
movies
watching the
that I
mo-
missed as well.
Fuck, I
Yeah, because I
forgot
watched
about
fucking Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I forgot that you mentioned.
And that will
about it.
forever be the current thing is that I see people say like, "Oh, Taika Waititi intentionally made this movie bad
No,
because he was
no.
upset about what they did to Thor in the other movies." And it's
What?
like, no, I think he just made a really.
I
bad
think it's
movie.
bad. I think that's a bit of a cope. Like that.
I don't
fucking-
think that's the case because
I-
he made another film with Disney like 2 years later and nobody watched it because it
Yeah,
was bad.
it was garbage. I hate that.
Like
That's like a
football
thing that
movie or
people
whatever.
do. Honestly, like the
because
thing
it's
with like
it's cope, man. It's cope. You gotta
it's
cope.
I hate the like with the fucking hunt down the Freeman shit. Like where the
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, no, I actually fucking 4 years later, he was like, oh, I actually intended this to. I was like,
It
fuck
was supposed
off.
to be bad and funny.
It's
Ha.
fucking fuck off. I buy
It's
Tom
it's
Green.
the damaged.
the
It's the
thing about-
damaged ego playbook.
Yeah, the thing about Freddy Got Fingered is that fucking even if people think that it's like it was like a psyop, where not like a psyop, but it was like he just took money and burned it, in front of the execs. He didn't go out of his way to say like, oh yeah, I made a bad
Yeah,
movie
he's
on
never come
purpose.
out and
He
been
never-
like, the secret was it was always supposed to be bad.
It's just something that people maybe
You don't need to
assume
say that because the movie's already bad. If that was the case, you
Yeah.
wouldn't need to specify it.
Yeah,
You would
it's
just let
stuck
it
in
be
my
bad
brain
and everybody
forever.
would- yeah. And Freddy Got Fingered is way better than all those other movies.
Yeah, exactly.
But Black Panther Wakanda Forever is like, they were in a very hard position with that one, obviously, because Chadwick Boseman died. And they didn't want to recast him because I think he was like Ryan Coogler's friend, They were
Yeah.
very connected. Him, Ryan Coogler, and Michael B. Jordan were very like close as professionals. So the movie is obviously very sad and stoic. It's very it's mourning. The movie has the tone is mourning,
Yeah.
But then at the same time you have Namor and he's got his little like wing feet and he flies around and shit. So it's I don't know.
No,
It's not. I don't think it's a petite. It's a good. It's a well-made movie. I don't think it's very good. But that was the thing though. Yeah. So Ryan Coogler, it felt like he kind of got the franchise stuff out of the way. Where he did the Creed film. He did Black Panther 1 and 2, and then this is like, all right, now it's time for me to do original stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that annoys me is that a good portion of the talk around Ryan Coogler since Sinners came out and has become super like incredibly successful is like, oh, what DC superhero should he make a movie about now? What superhero should he get? Maybe he should do a Batman film, No, he should go back to Disney. He should be the guy making the Blade movie. And although it would suck to think about, it's like, I could imagine them, especially with all the trouble they've had with Blade, just being like, we will pay you $1 billion to make Blade, please.
Yeah. And that would
we
be
will pay you the most money in the world that a director has ever gotten to make this film, please, because we need something.
It would be interesting though, like if they did that, because I like I don't know, like because like that's the thing is like, there's a difference between him like making Sinners, for example, where it's just like his original project, right? And then they're here like making this like not like no, let's just not call it slop, but like Marvel stuff, and it's like, will he be able to find that passion for this, franchise stuff? Will he be able to find that passion
because,
in
Well, because he's a great director, and that comes through in Creed and both the Black Panther films. He's a great director. So I think if he did make another like franchise film, it would probably still be a great film. I can't imagine him like half-assing it. He seems to have a lot of respect for his medium, which I think is
definitely
part of the thing that like makes a good filmmaker, is just like, even if you're making something, like, I mean, like you said, not to say it's slop or anything, but like a Marvel franchise film, it's like it's still good to have like an understanding of like, who I should, put the effort in. They should, make something that people want to see and they feel like they spent money on that was worth it. Which is why the fucking Thor Love and Thunder sucked, because it really did just feel like Taika Waititi was like, I don't know, they get the goats and the God Killer is there, and they go to Zeus and he's Russell Crowe, I guess, and then they just they go and find him, and then he adopts his daughter, and Korg is narrating it the entire time, and I'm playing Korg, so I'm throughout the whole movie going, "Hello, Thor, it's me." And then Thor went to Ragnarok and stole the thunder of Zeus. This movie's so bad, man. Like the Quantumania movie is atrociously bad, but somehow it's, in my mind, it's higher in the ranking than Thor: Love and Thunder.
Well, I can't comment on it because I haven't watched Love and Thunder.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even say you should watch it just out of curiosity. Seriously, it's easily the worst Marvel movie they've ever made, I would say.
Wow.
It's really bad. It's really bad, man. Ugh, what a bad movie. Anyway, Sinners was good.
Yeah, Sinners was good.
I like the line at the end of the movie. Oh, I was just going to say real quick before you go into some other thing. For Sinners, I like the line at the end of the movie. I thought it was a very good bit of dialogue to close out on. When Smoke Elijah he's dying. He's got the KKK leader, the Grand Dragon guy in front of him.
Yeah.
And he starts seeing the spirit of Annie, the mother of his deceased child, his love interest. And she says, what did she say? She says, if you put that cigarette out, Elijah, you can hold her.
You can hold, yeah.
And then she says, I don't want any of that smoke getting on her. And I was like, damn, that's a good line. That's killer.
Yeah.
That stood out to me, so I keep thinking about that line. The delivery's great, and just as in the art form of writing, that's like good. That's a real good like cap to it all for me. I don't know. Anyway, what were you gonna say? You were watching some other stuff?
I watched a bunch of Jack Quaid movies.
Yeah, I was Novocaine.
I watched Novocaine. I watched Companion.
Jack Quaid he's getting in as much stuff as he can. I did hear something. He's got some other film that's coming out soon as well. I'm pretty sure.
I heard someone
in 3 films.
I've heard someone call these like actors that are like have famous parents that are also actors and stuff dynasties, and I shivered a little bit when I heard that. I was like,
he's kind of a nepo baby, man.
I be a nepo baby. That's fine. do not use the word dynasty.
I would never refer to anything Jack Quaid does as a dynasty.
Like, why?
I don't even dislike him. I kind of like
that
Jack Quaid. He's chill.
No,
He
Jack
seems
Quaid
like
is
a
chill,
guy.
yeah, but it's just like people like trying to kind of legitimize that in
Yeah.
like some weird way, like is so strange to me.
Yeah, dude, hold on. We've got, so Companion, Novocaine came out this year, and then also coming out this year is Neighborhood Watch and Heads of State.
Okay,
So
well, a lot of stuff.
It's a year of Jack Quaid.
He's in like a lot of double A stuff, right? He's kind of like not like the biggest budgets,
Mid-budget films.
Mid-budget films and stuff.
Double A.
He also has a pretty approachable demeanor. Let's say
He's
that
got a nice
he's a
everyman,
goofball, you know?
everyman kind of vibe to him.
Who doesn't like a goofball in any situation? You know, you
He's
put
sort of
him in. Imagine
sort of a young
Sinners, you
Paul
put Jack
Rudd, you know?
Quaid in there, and he's like, I don't feel, I'm a white guy.
He would be like, he would if he was Remick,
Yeah.
and he was just like, oh, come on, man, I can't come in. Oh, what? Is it because I'm white? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
no
sorry,
worries.
Nina.
Hey, no worries, my dude.
Yeah.
I'll be over here. I'll be waiting outside, my friends. If you
Yeah.
change your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go outside, and he's playing like Creed or something on the banjo with his friends.
Exactly, you know. And yeah, it was the Novocaine film was pretty interesting, I guess, in a way. Like
Interesting, you'd say.
I don't know, it's just a very generic sort of action movie. I was very surprised how people were like, you know, a lot of there was kind of a lot of people posting the idea of like, people want new movies and nobody sees them, you know, because like we literally going back to the box office stuff. It's just like they show all these like new IPs, let's say, right, and they're making no money, you know, and it's like Novocaine is like a fun film, but it doesn't, like, that's the thing about cinema nowadays. It does feel like with Sinners and with The Substance, so for example, like all these movies, they do have to have that fucking draw, you know? If they're not new IPs, like people just aren't willing to go to the cinema, you know, without, like, for example, the hype behind these movies that did make quite a lot of movies.
Word of mouth has never been stronger as a marketing force.
Yeah, exactly. And that I haven't heard about. I didn't know that. I've seen the movie, like I've seen a commercial for Novocaine, or like a trailer of it.
I saw
but
some
I had
trailers
there
and I
was
like,
a.
ugh.
I didn't know that movie came out. You know.
Yeah, they just kind of slipped it out there. I don't know. I don't think they were. I mean, we were talking about regular guy action movies recently.
Yeah,
there's too many of them.
Like
kind of oversaturated a bit.
I
now.
feel like regular action, and it's just like, I don't know, like nobody left a bad taste in my mouth in a way. I feel like nobody was.
Two will come along. And
yeah, I just like
give an even
thinking
better one.
about that's gonna be. That's like a series now, you know, like it's insane to me, you know. I don't know if did it even do. I can't bother looking it up, but it's like what in that movie?
Or Nobody?
No, and Nobody. Like, did that actually do well? Because it's like I don't really get what people were like.
They did pretty good. Let's see.
Saw in that movie, you know.
Again, we're going back on it, even though I said I don't like doing it now, but I'm still doing it. The box office, 57.5 million on a 16 million budget.
There you go.
I mean, it must have done well because they're doing Nobody 2. They wouldn't do Nobody 2 if it did poorly.
Mm-hmm. Nobody would have gone to see it.
True.
Initially, if it was bad. I don't know. But yeah, action slop stuff.
Christopher Lloyd is going to be back in that. Isn't he
Is
like
he not
100 years old?
Yeah, he's going to go
86 years old.
And he's going to go, haha, son, in this movie too. And that's going to be his, like, one of the lines that he says.
Yeah, he's going to be in a chair for even longer of the film.
Yeah, he's like, he can barely stand, you know.
Yeah.
Companion was pretty cool, I guess. Although it is very heavy-handed, I guess, with its kind of themes and
Well,
stuff.
it's like AI
Yeah.
girlfriend or something.
Yeah,
Right?
I guess it's very applicable, I guess, to how people kind of treat, how what is happening with generative AI stuff and chats, and how people are able to kind of, mold a person in a way, into not even a person, but like a personality that would be kind of infatuated with them, in a way. And we kind of seeing it even more now with the dumb shit that ChatGPT is doing with the recent releases, just making it glaze you insanely, But it does a little bit of a twist, I guess, on that, where even that is exploitative towards the product. Let's say, right? It's the person that owns the robot girlfriend, right? Is even he's exploiting her, in a way. That's even yeah. It's just like it yeah, it's a true.
Well, Max, I have some good news for you.
Yeah.
Jack Quaid's next film, Heads of State, is being directed by the guy that directed Nobody, who also
Awesome.
directed Hardcore Henry.
Oh, I loved Hardcore Henry.
I did. I liked Hardcore Henry. I thought
It was
fun.
okay for watching it once.
Yeah, I like. It's all POV. It's all on GoPro.
Yeah.
And
All made in like Bulgaria or something, so it's cheap to make.
well, the guy is Russian, I think.
Oh
He's
no.
a Russian.
Well, I guess you gotta boycott it now. I can't watch it.
I don't want to hear about boycotts from you, brother.
Well,
Mr. Chicken Nuggets over here.
yeah, I love
From the
chicken
McDonald's.
nuggets.
You're compromised.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? I'm so sick. I'm gonna have to end the podcast right now. I'm sickened.
By the chicken nuggets, but they're so delicious. They're so crunchy.
I'm not a huge chicken nugget head from McDonald's.
Nah, they
I
don't
haven't
really
had
taste like
McDonald's
anything.
in like 2 years, maybe.
I did have to just fill out my stomach with stuff because I literally didn't have anything in my fridge because I had to throw everything away. So I was just grabbed whatever. Yeah.
Well, I personally, I haven't been to McDonald's for a while, but my go-to is usually I would have whatever the cheap chicken wrap is for the day,
That's
and then
true.
I would have like a chicken, like a spicy chicken sandwich, and some fries and a drink.
Maybe we'll get sponsored by McDonald's.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That would be very
I
interesting.
think I already mentioned the boycott this episode, so you'll have to bleep all of that or take it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Along with the other stuff, I guess.
Yeah, how much money will they give? How much will we sell our souls for? And I'll say chicken nuggets. I love them. I love chicken nuggets.
How much would I sell my soul for?
It's like
I don't,
Turkish.
I don't think I could do it. I don't
It's
think I
like
could do it for that
Turkish
one.
delights in Narnia. It's like you give me chicken nuggets. The Queen of Winter or whatever gives me chicken nuggets. It's like I'm selling my family for this.
Yeah. I don't like Turkish delight, luckily enough.
Fuck
So she wouldn't be
Mr.
able to get my
Tumnus. What was he
Yep,
called?
Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah,
The
fuck him.
fawn.
Yeah,
He was a bit of a weirdo, man.
you just
Wasn't it
chop
Justin
away.
Timberlake?
You
No, it was
chop-
James McAvoy. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
change my. You chop away his human half, grind that up, and then it just seems like you have a pig in your house that you're gonna eat.
It's a goat,
you know?
yeah, some kind of
Yeah,
goat.
a goat
half a
or
goat.
whatever. A mutt. You can cook him up, serve him, and people don't even realize that
True,
it
they'll
was
think I
half
just
human.
eating goat. I think I was just eating regular goat.
It's like, this is delicious. Like, well, now I need to find more of these fawns. Is that what they're
What
called?
did you call them? Mr. Tumnus?
Mr. Tumnus, I think. Mr. Tumnuses.
Well, if you'd like to know where you could get some delicious Mr. Tumnus meat, email deadensons@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube upload of the podcast where you can listen to it. I would say watch, but there's not really anything to watch. It's mostly still just listening. And if you go to YouTube, you can also like and subscribe while you're there. But if you're not a YouTube kind of person, you like your podcasts on audio apps, where you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and many other podcast apps where we will be available. You just search Dead Ensigns, and while you're there, whatever their subscription/rating system is, just throw us like a couple good ones for being so nice and happy and good and fun and enjoyable. And our great opinions on films, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess.
What's your favorite opinion on a film you've ever had, mate?
My favorite opinion on a film is that they all are moving pictures.
Goodbye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.